Welcome. Welcome to this very chilly Saturday. We just had another snowstorm, and that's why members, you're getting all of your videos today. Going beyond members, you're getting your Law of One class today, and then the next two for the Discover Your Soul's design. You're getting that awesome meditation that I made, the Palladian DNA upgrade video. So I think you guys will like that. Hello, everyone. Just let me know that you can hear and see me before I get too far. Annie's right across from me on the heated blanket. But yeah, that's why I actually have like another layer under this. It's so chilly here. Okay, so it looks and sounds good. Okay, so a lot of news this week. A lot of things happened. And I made the conscious decision to not go on the day that we got the news about Russia invading Ukraine. I made that conscious decision because I felt like I'm not going to add to the hysteria. I don't want to do that. So I thought, you know what? Give it a day or two to simmer down a little bit. I mean, not that anyone's feeling great, that's for sure, but just not to add to one more YouTuber giving their 2 cents. So first of all, I mean, for all of you that watch me, you know that I did predict that Putin would indeed do this. I mean, I said it quite a while ago on Hogarth's channel, and I will be back on his channel tonight along with Milu and Ganga at 7 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, I know a lot of people said, oh, he's bluffing and it's just, he's rattling his sabers. And I said, no, I really am not getting that. So I unfortunately did predict this. And I don't really see him stopping. I think he wants to restore Russia in his mind to the former glory, that sort of thing, undo all of that progress. So yeah, I think there's a lot of that going on. Yeah, if the video is a little blurry, I mean, we did have a storm, so that could be why. When it goes to upload, it should be fine. But yeah, and then too, if it's on your end, you need to leave and then come back. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna do the best that I can because like I said, we got another snowstorm and at least the winds weren't as high, so that's at least something. I wanted to show you before I get into the readings this new box that I got to keep my cards in, which I thought would be really kind of cool. Now, White Dragon, I've answered this question in membership and I'll answer it for the 5 millionth time. Are ETs watching to make sure he will not be able to use nukes? So once again, free will, Law of One, all of that, they are not allowed to interfere. They can send down love and light to help influence, but they cannot, just like you've noticed, they've never interfered ever in human history. It's not going to start now. So, yes. Yeah, it may stay a little bit blurry for a little bit, but we'll see. So I really wanted to take a look at the future of Ukraine, the future of Russia, the future of Putin, taking a look at just everything that's going on, because I know how upsetting it is, but I do think that everything is happening, unfortunately, for a divine reason. Like we were saying on Hogarth's channel, Putin is a dinosaur, and the way of doing things, that mindset, that way of doing things is just no longer acceptable. It's not anything to do with fourth density, right? Which is where we're heading. We're becoming, more enlightened and awakened. And so we need to get rid of people like Putin. And so this will be his demise, mark my words, that this is how we get rid of him. And let this be a lesson to anyone else that gets those sort of ideas. So I don't think that this is an accident. No, I think that this is supposed to happen. And this will lead us towards a better place. But we're stuck in the middle of it now. I I do get the sense with Putin, because he is a smart man, just because he's cruel doesn't mean he's not intelligent, that he knows that this is like his last stand. And so I've told you for a long time, I have felt that he's not healthy, that he is not well. And I get the sense that he knows something about his health that is making it so he has nothing to lose. Because he knows he's going to lose. He knows that he can't just come out of this and everything's going to be great and he's just going to take this country and that country and, you know, he's going to occupy and invade every country around him and he's just going to be allowed to. He knows that that's not the case. And he also knows what he's doing to his legacy. You know, his name is going to be a stain in human history. So let's take a look. And also, too, you know, I really want to just say something about the bravery of so many of these Ukrainians. You know, we saw the 13 Ukrainian soldiers that stood up to, you know, that whole Navy ship, right? Losing their lives. We saw the Ukrainian who had to blow himself up along with the bridge to stop the Russians from progressing. I saw another one where one tried, I don't know if I think he was a civilian. He looked like a civilian to me, used his car to try to, and he was in it, to stop a tank. So these are very brave people and they are willing to fight. And, you know, a lot of you ask me like, you know, like, how do you know if you're getting ready to ascend and be awakened and enlightened? And if you're living the law of one and all of this? Here's one thing to ask yourself. When you're watching all of this, can you imagine being one of those Ukrainians? Like, are you having thoughts like, oh gosh, I would have been one of those Ukrainians that would have fled weeks ago, or I would stand and fight, or you know what, I'm a bit of a procrastinator, I would have been stuck in the line. When you start having those thoughts, that's empathy. And so that is the heart-centered living that we're talking about. That is what leads us towards a better future. And, you know, that's what makes all the difference to our soul's progression. And so I think chances are, if you're watching me, then you're heading in the right direction. And so let's take a look first. Yeah, see, like someone says, it makes me physically sick. Yes. And the other thing too is, as light workers, as star seeds, right, which most of you are, you will find that there is always one population, one thing that really triggers you. You know, like, because I talk a lot, for me, it's the elderly and it's animals. I can't see either one suffer. Like, I can't watch it. For other people, it's the children. Other people, it's people with special needs. You know, some people cannot bear to see the water be contaminated. Like, because we all came down for different reasons, you see. And so that's why it's so hard. I mean, I think I've seen like every poor elderly person in Ukraine that tried to escape. I mean, literally with their walkers. I mean, that just breaks my heart. And then seeing the cats and dogs. And so, you know, here's the thing. Limit how much you watch it, because there's nothing you can do. You can sit there and watch the news 24/7 and you're still not going to change the outcome of anything. So limit it. You know, stay informed, but you don't have to live that reality because you can't change it. For those of you in my angel membership, 4:00 Eastern today, I am going to go live channeling Archangel Raphael. He did promise to talk about the Ukraine, Russia conflict, but also doing something about it. We're actually going, he said that we will do something about it during that channeling session. So that's all that we can do at this moment. You know, sending our prayers, our light, our love, that sort of thing. But let's look at the future of Ukraine. Okay, so let that be my first one. I'm glad so many of you liked the, if you haven't seen it yet, I did put a new Ra video on my website, dianaquarius.com. And I'm also getting tons of emails. Look, guys, I'm getting about 16,000 emails a month. There is nothing I can do to answer all of them. I'm trying. Asking if there's any sooner times. No, because I'm not doing thousands of readings anymore. I can't. So I cut it back. What I have on my website is what I have available, and I'm so sorry that there's not more, but that's all I can do. So, okay, so the future of Ukraine, what do we need to know? What do we need to know? Okay. Really interesting cards. Okay. So we start off with the Emperor. And I'm going to say that this is Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine. And to me, I think he's doing the best that he can, given the situation. I mean, how much more can the man do? This is also a very solid, reliable character, right? It's a 4. It takes 4 corners to build a house, to make a strong foundation. And so, I think this is speaking to Zelensky's strength. It's testifying to his courage. I mean, this has to be terrifying. The obstacle is people trying to flee and not always being able to. I mean, if you had an elderly person, a sick person, a lot of small children, pets, I mean, you may not be able to flee. So the obstacle is not everyone can get out and go to smoother waters. But look, some of them are going to. Some of them are going to, okay? Some of them are, because there's only 3 cards in the deck where the back's turned and the person's clearly, about to leave. So some of them are going to flee, okay? And where we're asking about the future of Ukraine, that makes me, of the Ukrainian people, really, is what I'm asking. It makes me think that some of them may not return. There may be a certain percentage that leaves, and that's it. And then you have the ones that are standing and fighting. They are right there. They are standing, they're fighting. Here they are holding the sword of truth, and they're not backing down. And then you have other ones that feel like victims, because they are. Let's face it, they are. And this is also a card of martyrdom. Some of them have been martyrs. Some of these people are very brave. They're very strong. But also, too, at the end of the day, the people's hands are tied, right? And so that is so scary. But then we get 2 cards that talk about balancing everything. I'm going to have to block this person just for their own sake, if nothing else. Because if you keep putting the same message again and again, you will get your account shut down. So, sorry, first name, last name, but that wasn't necessary and you're gone. So, yeah, but the other thing too is we're also mature adults. Why is everyone like, oh, somebody's being a troll? Look the other way. I mean, think about what the Ukrainian people are facing. And if you can't deal with somebody putting something repetitively, come on. Bigger fish to fry today, I think. So we get 2 cards that talk about balance, right? Literally holding the scales of balance. This is the card of balance, harmony, moderation. And so they're going to be coming into a better time. They're also going to be receiving charity. So there's going to be help coming in for them. And, these better angels are going to come in and help them, because I do not believe that they can do it alone. It's beyond their power. It's not a very big country. They've showed it next to say Texas and California, and it really puts it into perspective how small Ukraine is. So let's take a look at Putin himself. Okay. Let's take a look at him himself. To me, this is his last stand. I think he's done. I mean, not to say that he's going to stop, because I don't think he's going to stop. I think he has no intentions of stopping. But at the same time, I get the sense like he knows something about his health where he's like, I got nothing to lose. I'm at the point that I have nothing to lose. And he's also like descending into madness. You know, he's going sinking further and further into his ego. You know, not being that cool, collected, rational person that he can be. He does have that ability. But I don't know if he looks ill to me, Julie, but his energy has felt like he has had illness. Well, I mean, if you follow my channel, you already know what I'm going to say. Like, he's been sick for a very long time. I've always gotten something that could like be sort of neurological in nature, like Parkinson's, MS, that sort of thing. So, yeah. I think he has a lot going on. So let's take a look at him, you know, stirring up everything in the world right now, causing mayhem. But also, too, you know, I'm going to look at the Russian people separately because they're starting to turn on him. And we need to look at that. Okay, so the first card literally just jumped out into my lap is the Moon card. Deceit, disillusionment. And I'm asking about Putin. Okay, so we get the card of basically lies, doing things in the dark of night, doing things secretly. So, okay, and then look, the next card, his obstacle card, is literally the card of disillusionment. So he gets disillusionment back to back as both who he is and his obstacle. That is so obvious, right? So the things inside of these cups are not real. There's castles, fairies, ghosts, baubles. And this character can't decide which one he wants out of things that aren't even really there. And that's sort of where Putin is. You know, I think he's sort of looking at other countries. He's really stretching his imagination and not being realistic. Okay. But now look at this. He gets the card of losing it all. The poverty card. You know, this is the card of losing your health, your money, your well-being, your earthly possessions. Not good. Followed by the card of a broken heart. Okay. He is not going, like I said, he's not going to win. Okay. Yeah, I know he thinks he is, but he's not going to. He's not going to. And why? Because look at this. Justice is coming. He literally gets the justice card. So justice is coming for him. So if he makes it past this, he's going to be obviously charged with things like war crimes and whatever else they can throw at him if he makes it that far. So I think that answers that. That seems like a really clear message to me. I mean, that seems pretty point on. But let's look at the Russian people because they are so dissatisfied. So dissatisfied. They don't want this. And you have to remember, their ruble is now worthless, right? Their money is worthless. They don't have access to 4 banks. Their stock market crashed. So, you know, your average Russian is not happy, and they're also suffering. Well, here's the thing. Someone mentioned the thousands of Russians protesting and going to jail. Yeah, I don't think them going to jail would be quite like us protesting and going to jail. I'm going to say jail. You know, will we see these people again? Will they be the same if we do? I'd be very careful with that term jail. Okay. So let's take a look at the Russian people themselves. Yeah, someone says gulag. Yeah, I mean, let's not make it sound like it's pretty, like, oh, they just arrested some protesters. No, like, these people either will not be the same again or never be seen again. So they're very brave because Russians know what they're going up against. You know? Yeah, I agree. Let him be poor. Let him lose everything. Yeah, Russia is a good country. And I think it's also really important that we separate your average Russian from Putin. You know, you can't blame the people for their leaders, especially where I think it's pretty obvious that, Putin isn't elected. I know, like, we pretend that we have elections and things like that. I mean, they did when I was in Cambodia too, and Hun Sen always magically won. Always. Okay, so Russian people. Okay. So right now, they're feeling like they're the victims. Okay, so that says a lot to me. They're feeling victimized. Their hands are being tied, they're being bound, they're being stuck, and they're being forced into the situation, which tells me that they're not so happy with their dear leader. If this is how they feel, then it's pretty obvious that many of them, if not most, are not supporting this. I mean, who knows how they're even going to get a loaf of bread at this point, right? Their obstacle is they don't quite know what to do about it. They're trying to assess things, come up with a strategy, a plan. They're trying to figure things out. They're analyzing the situation to say, okay, how do we fix this? Because we have a whole country here. It's, yes, they have that one leader, but then you have all these millions of other people, and so right now they're feeling like they're persevering, like they're putting one foot in front of the other. Like they feel like this character who is bandaged and just doing his best. But I mean, I definitely foresee an uprising. I see more protests. I mean, let's face it, the Russians are good at throwing a revolution. I see lots of that coming. Here they are fighting. And look at what they're fighting for. They're fighting to get things restored back to how they, well, at least how they were when things were good, okay? But also fighting for their children. This is the only card that only has children. And so they're doing it for their future. They're doing it for their future. And, they got some pretty strong cards here. They come across victorious, triumphant. This character has been through a battle, just like the Russian people, but then he emerges victorious and triumphant. So that's amazing. And they get this brand new beginning. They get this brand new beginning because so many of them are enlightened. This is the Sun card. Things start to change. Things will get better. And then their finances finally will improve. Now, we're not there yet. I mean, we're definitely not there yet, but, looking out into the future. But you have to remember, too, this conflict's not going to last forever, okay? But their finances improve, okay? And also, too, pages represent children. And so their future, their children, all of that will start to get better, okay? Is there something else you would like me to look at in regards to this? And I know there's if you're watching this after the fact, there's a 1-minute delay when you're live. Look at Zelensky himself. Yeah, we could look at Zelensky himself. Yeah, why don't we do that? Let's take a look at Zelensky himself. Yep, you're right. There's cycles to everything. This too will pass. Yep. But it's horrible when you're stuck in the middle of it. Yeah, let's take a look at China too. So we'll look at Zelensky and we'll look at China. Well, I think it's going to go on for as long as it can until... See, here's the thing. It will stop once he invades one of our actual allies. Somebody that is actually part of NATO, the G7, that kind of thing. Once he does that, that's when things will start to quickly fall apart for him. Okay, so Zelensky. What do we need to know about Zelensky? So Zelensky has like a lot of judgment calls to make. You know, here he is trying to make the best decisions that he can for his country. You know, he has a lot of decisions, a lot of choices. Um, and they all would have fatal consequences. But the problem is he, at least from his perspective, and I would be likely to agree, he's not getting enough support. He's like the hermit. He's doing it all by himself. But it's interesting how his cards are very much about being in the planning phase of things. So he gets, you know, like the Two of Swords. He's at a crossroads. He's trying to make a decision. So that tells me he still has a lot of plans under wraps, okay? There's a lot of things that we don't know that he is planning. Again, coming up with a strategy, prospecting, trying to figure things out. But yet, taking the government and moving it forward. So he's not backing down. He is going to continue to move forward until he can't move forward anymore. But I mean, the cards are saying he's going to continue moving forward. But when he does, he still has a fight that looks like he's not getting enough support. So I would say he's a rather brave man. Let me just take a sip here. Okay, let me just... Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on with China. What does China think about, you know, all of this? Xi Jinping, what is he thinking? You know, is he going to try to make a move? So I give the cards a real nice shuffle on this one. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're asking about, is China going to get involved? Are they going to do anything? What are they thinking? What's Xi Jinping thinking? And we get the Devil. So a card of greed and sin. So not loving that I got this card. The obstacle, though, they can't all seem to agree in their government. They're going back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so not easy times over there. Maybe this is why they haven't made the move yet, because they're not sure. You know, they're not quite sure exactly how to embrace what could be an opportunity for them, you know? Oh, look at this and see. Yeah, okay. Okay, so they're trying to figure things out. They're at a crossroads. So China's like, okay, what do I do? But look at every card after this. Look at this. Offering Russia money. Giving them, let me see, giving them so much money, there's money to spare. Helping them to balance their money. So somehow they must think that by doing this, it's going to be good for them financially. That's what I'm going to say. And I just want to say thank you for like almost 1,200 of you coming out on a Saturday afternoon to watch me. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, I definitely appreciate all of your time. That's for sure. So I think Poland, I saw somebody ask about Poland. That's a great question. I think we do need to be concerned about Poland. You know, Poland is at least taking in a lot of those refugees. Thank heavens. Because that's the thing. Once Russia gets out of Ukraine and goes into some place like Poland, now we're actually in an actual war where we're fighting. Right, exactly, because Poland is part of NATO. So that would change things. Oh, Guadalupe, thank you so much for your donation. India's on India's side. I've always gotten that from India. Okay, so what do we need to know about Poland, Spirit? Whew. So they could have a real tough go of it. Oh, thank you. Oh, Ashley, you've been a member for 5 months. Oh, wow. So, you know, Poland's a bit in the dark. I think they're a little nervous. They're in a precarious situation. Their obstacle, though, is the potential to be stabbed in the back. So I don't love that. Then they get... The cards are pretty ominous, I'll be honest with you. They do get the poverty card. They get the card of losing it all, losing money, well-being, health, followed by the card of heartbreak, followed by the Fool. So let me just ask Spirit, how can I clarify the Fool card in this case? Because we can take this in one of two different directions. Okay, so my guides are saying that they're going to have like a new beginning. They will have faith and trust in the universe. They will be able to pull through this. But I'm going to say Poland's in for a tough time immediately. Yikes, you know. But like I said, he has no reason to stop because I don't think he has anything to lose. And he's not a kind person, you know. I mean, talk about not living from the heart center. But... all right, everyone, we've been going at it for over half an hour, so I hope that answered a lot of your questions, give you a little bit of peace of mind, you know, that it's going to be okay. Things are tough right now, but things are going to be okay. And this is the beginning of the end of somebody who is realistically a dictator. And we're just watching him with his demise. During his downfall. You know, he has stained his own legacy. He could have changed his legacy and done something great for the world, right? But that's not what he chose to do. And it's a free will planet. And so actions have consequences. And I think we're about to see that. So, all right, everyone. I hope you have a fantastic Saturday, a great weekend. Stay warm if you're in New England, because Monday it's going to get freezing, even more than today. So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Bye, everyone.